Well, we're not going to be able to ride to work much longer. For a good 4 or 5 months. Why is that, Adam? You're in North Carolina. Actually, North Carolina had a cold snap last week. It was a low of, I'm not going to make that light. It was a low of like 20 degrees. It's crazy. Crazy times. Now we're back into what's normal, which is like a high of like 65 today. Didn't rain this morning. The problem is Heather's car is still in New Hampshire from a month ago when she flew right down while I was in Dubai. She was up there for a couple weeks, left her car up there. Left the dog up there too, so it's pretty sad times we're dealing with here. Hey, so what's going on? Real quick for a video. There's a longer 30-minute video that's queued up to publish after this one. But I wanted to give you guys a last ride. That's right. I was going to go to Uwharrie this weekend and go camping with the Moto Camp Nerd guys, but again, it was 20 degrees. So those of you guys that went out this weekend, I'm jealous, but I couldn't. Heather greenlit it. She was like, "You should definitely go. Go camping. It's your last camping trip of the year." She was right. I could have survived 20-degree camping, but we were packing all weekends. We're moving. So I haven't stuffed the two for the dust mites in the house. We're packing, moving north. 2 years and 1 month in Charlotte, and we are heading back to New Hampshire. And people were like, "You had the dream. You're in North Carolina. You've got Uwharrie. You have you've got Savannah. There's a couple hours south of you. You got Charleston. You got Asheville and the Blue Ridge Parkway and Tail of the Dragon." No! Year-round riding! Here's the thing. I actually really miss the Northeast. A lot, actually. Sorry. Very flimmy. I miss it a lot. Northeast is, it was my home for 12 years. I was born in Florida. I've lived all over the place, but, really... Northeast just feels right. It's where Heather was born too. She's a 7th generation New Hampshire resident. She got family up there. All of our family and friends on her side are up there. And, all of mine are down in either Alabama or Florida. And, Boston to Atlanta and Boston to Jacksonville are all both direct flights. And, it's not that hard. It's actually faster to fly down there from Boston than it is to drive the 6 to 8 hours from Charlotte. So it's not as if it's, it's not like it's going to be, for us, it's not going to be a big difference in travel time door to door to go see family. And my side of the family, at least. But, a lot of things just happened. It's funny, I was recounting, Heather reminded me of this, but I told her before we moved, I said, literally said this to her, give me 2 years to restart my career, get to a company people have heard of, get to a company that, is a household name, has a great professional development program for leaders to get all my certifications up to date and all of my executive training and stuff out behind me. Give me a chance to implement some of my skills at a higher pace and higher level and a higher budget. Let me prove that, and then I'll get us back home. And what I thought was, it's going to take me 2 years, and then I'm going to apply for jobs for a year, and then take a remote job where I can work from our house in New Hampshire remotely. And I was going to miss it because I was not going to like that opportunity because I'd be happy after work. Heather would be happy. But I knew I like in-person work. I like being in person with my team. And so I was going to be really bummed if that was the future, but it was kind of the plan all along, was to move back to New Hampshire. I told everyone in that video we'd be back. What I was afraid of is Heather was very open to like, hey, let's do San Francisco, or let's do Colorado, or let's do Austin. Let's do a couple of other cities before we move back home. Because Matilda wouldn't be in first grade yet, so we could still hop around a little bit while she was still young and keep working on my career, maybe make director somewhere, and you know, kind of make that my future, and then come back, you know, when Matilda's 4 or 5, and have that story basically be our story. Interviewed a few places in the last 12 months. Nothing really was, nothing really worked for me, or made, you know, it just wasn't, nothing really sung to me. And then Muriel Farrington passed away a couple weeks ago. Really just super sad. She was the first person I met in this motorcycle community, first person I rode with. She got me involved in the Vermont Club, and she got me involved in the MOA. She was super sad when I told I was leaving 2 years ago, and I saw her in September, the last time I saw her before she passed away, in person. We'd spoke on the phone a few times, but you know, before she passed away, I saw her once more, and I said, I think I'm moving back in the next 6 months. And she really lit up. She's like, good, get back involved in the club, the Vermont Club. And so when she passed away, I was like, oh man, I really can't let Muriel down. I really need to move back and help out with the Vermont Club. And then we had our tenants moved out of the house up north, and we had no tenants for wintertime. And it's expensive to heat a house in the wintertime and pay a mortgage in the wintertime. And Heather and I were looking at our budget in October going, man, we got to really, you know, look at how we spend money and save money to keep the house up north. It'll be empty all winter. And then the town of our town in New Hampshire and the State Environmental Service, DES, approved our renovation we had planned to do next summer. They approved both of those. So we can go up a level, we can go back a level, we can build a garage, we can build a deck, we can build a fence, all that stuff, the runoff concerns with the lake, all that got squashed. And then Donald Trump got elected, and Elon Musk, you know, announced a lot of changes to the federal employee system. And my wife is a federal employee. She has a remote work exception from my job. Her work approved of it. And she and I are convinced, just the way consultants are, because Elon Musk is just an overpaid consultant, that Elon Musk is going to rescind all federal exemptions for for federal employees in order to trim some of the fat. And so she'll need to, within like a 20-day notice or something, report back to her office in Vermont at the new year. We don't know that yet, but we think it's going to happen. It's just a way to, consultants come in, there's a way to really cheaply lay people off without having a layoff. It's just to rescind all remote exceptions and say, nope, you're no longer remote. You got to be in an office 40 hours a week. I'm not saying it's good or bad. She actually likes going into her office. She only did this for me so we could move south for a couple of years, but we think that's coming too. And then finally, Matilda, you know, we were at the daycare soon. You know, Matilda's 1 year old. She's finally getting to a point where she needs a lot more attention than Heather can give while still focusing on our jobs, our mutual jobs. And so, you know, we're doing a thing now where I'm home a couple days a week and she's home a couple days a week, or she's virtual a couple days a week. And we're trying our best, but Matilda just needs a lot more attention, social time. So we're looking at daycares down here. They're expensive down here. And up north, we have a whole family, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, parents, etc., that want to watch her over the first year, and then we'll do a more serious like pre-K thing. All this is happening at the same time. And then, what do you know, I get a job interview at a company up north, and their office is 5 miles from our house. Didn't think this could happen. I told you guys in a previous video, there's only a few companies up there. There's Dartmouth College, Dartmouth Hospital, Hypertherm, Criari, and King Arthur Baking. And there's a few startups, and there's a couple of little like independent things, and there's some like nonprofits, and there's some like, you know, just stuff like that. Nothing major, without having to drive to Manchester, New Hampshire, or to Boston, or up to Burlington, Vermont. And we really wanted to be in our hometown with our friends and stuff. And so, got a job interview at King Arthur Baking. I'm excited about it. It's a 200-year-old company, 300, 400 employees, and they still have their offices, you know, in Vermont. And there's no business travel that I can foresee. It's all their stuff is in, you know, in that area. They have all their offices in that same little strip in Norwich, Vermont. So, you know, really, really convenient for us, close to home, not much travel. And I went through 12 interviews, 12 people. Met with the COO, who will eventually become my boss in a couple of years. Great interview process. Did not fly up there, even though I probably should have, but it was just hard. Some people are virtual there. So anyway, a good process. I really enjoyed it. I got a job offer last week, and I let my work know last week that I was leaving in a couple of weeks. I'll be basically going from, you know, it's funny, just real quick digression. I've been a senior project manager since I was 24. I was one of those wonderkind kind of types where, you know, like I started my first company when I was 14, started blogging at 12, had a for-profit blog by the time I was 16, doing speaker engagements, conferences, got into cybersecurity sales after my job at Apple. At 18 and a half, I worked there for 6 months, didn't like it, it was too restrictive. Steve Jobs was still alive, so it was just kind of a different time at Apple. But did, you know, business sales at Apple, and then cybersecurity sales at 18, and then at 20, I sold everything and moved to California, started a couple of companies, worked for a bunch of startups, wrote a book. And then at 23, I was kind of burnt out and wanted to, air quotes, retire. And I've been working for like, you know, my ass off for 10 years. And then I, you know, kind of basically thought moving to New England was a retirement for me. You know, I literally bought a farm and bought pigs and bought chickens and cows and fished and ice fished and hunted and all that stuff, and worked at TomTom for 12 years. And I love my time at TomTom. But I was a senior project manager the entire time I was there. And I did a lot of jobs, but I never got promoted. Never got promoted in 12 years. It's fine. I squandered that part of my career. I admit that now, but I got to meet Heather. I got to have a house. I got to have a really wonderful life discovery, motorcycling, and just really loved my time there. But I knew when I started applying for remote jobs, I needed a career reset because I wasn't getting any callbacks. It was like, you've been at TomTom for 12 years. You're kind of, you know, I wasn't marketable. And so I worked my ass off and got this job at Credit Karma. And then I became the head of program management, or PMO, for this customer service org. Did that for 2 years. And all the while I was there, did Duke executive training. I did virtual courses. I got my PMP, PGMP, RMP, PBA, PSM, CSM, ACP, and a couple other certifications, all in 2 years. Got Matilda, lost a bunch of weight, got my shoulder, ankle, eye, and teeth surgery done. Just completely, I mean, I've been balls to the wall, for 2 years, just focused on getting us back to New Hampshire at a higher level. And, fuck if it happened. 2 years and a month. We're moving back north. I got a director role, reporting to the head of operations at King Arthur Baking, and loosely also reporting to the COO, loosely, kind of as a dotted line, running strategy and program delivery for the whole org. And I'm so stoked. Guys, I can't. It's a local company. I'll be in an office, working alongside people in an operational role in person. You know, quick drive to my house, faster than my commute to Credit Karma, and I'll be back home. Heather will be back home. We'll be in our house that's going to be renovated starting in April. And it just kind of all happened. And I'll be, you know, 39 years old, and we'll be in our beautifully renovated lake home with our 2-year-old baby, and we'll be close to family. And it's just going to be, you know, and I'll be in this role for 9 months by then, and I won't even be 40 yet. And, you know, working on the senior director position next. And it kind of plays into my goal of, like, you know, when I turn 50, which is 12 years from now, plays into my goal when I turn 50 to do on the side consultant work for operations and program management and strategic, you know, alignment and kind of, you know, process governance and coaching as a consultant. And then, you know, if that spins up really well and King Arthur no longer needs me, then my plan is at, you know, 50, 55 to branch off and do that solo for 10 or 15 years by myself as an independent contractor consultant. Take summers off, spend them with Matilda, traveling around the country on motorcycles, and you know, really enjoy my golden years. So, you know, I see this as everything I've been working toward, and I'm so thrilled and I'm so excited. And yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm gonna miss a lot of the advantages that Charlotte offers. I'm not gonna miss the traffic or the lack of dirt and you know, how hard it is to go camping and all that other stuff. I'm 3 hours from the tail of the dragon. You know, it's just not like, if this was Asheville, I feel a little differently. We'd feel a little differently. We want to stay a little longer, but almost it works. I'm wrapping it up. But yeah, so over Christmas time, I'm moving, and then starting my new job at King Arthur in the new year. Yeah, and if you haven't heard of King Arthur, you're probably not a home baker, but they are huge. I mean, they are the baking company for the country. They're employee owned. They're a B Corp. They're ran sustainably. They are, you know, they are known to like home and professional bakers. It's kind of like the flour, and they have a lot of other products too. And I am just so freaking thrilled about this job. So thrilled. I can't be happier. So that's it. That's the video. You guys will see a couple more from me, but this is pretty much it for the remainder of the year. And next year, no how-to videos, because we're going to have our basement full of storage boxes. And so you're not going to see anything until the summertime. And I'm sorry about that. One last question I'll leave for you guys if you're watching till the end. I would like to, so if you go back onto my channel and go to playlists, and you go to 2016, there's a playlist called My House, and it's the process of renovating our home over the course of like 6 months. I loved making that video series, but back then I only had like 8,000 subscribers. Now I have 15,000 subscribers, and so I'm worried about what people will think about that many videos that we focus on my house and losing a lot of subscribers. So I'd love to get your opinion. What do you think? I can record them just for myself, upload them as private just for myself for the memories, but I would love to have those for you all and show the process of building this house and a garage. And so please let me know if you're interested in that series. I'd be happy to produce it. And yeah, so something to think about. Almost at the office. I appreciate you guys though. I appreciate all the support the last couple of years. I know the channel's been kind of boring, but or at least, you know, stuck kind of in the concrete jungle. But I hope you all have stuck around, and I appreciate it. Ride safe, take care, and Merry Christmas.